If you want to melt that belly fat but don't have time for proper diet plans or extensive workouts, then this video is just for you. I will share with you 5 proven ways that are just amazing for fat loss. So without any further delay, let's get started. Extra fat on the body not only looks bad, but is also an invitation to problems like fatty liver, type 2 diabetes, and high blood pressure. Let's talk about 5 simple and smart ways for fat loss. Starting with 5 on the list is add an acid. Only if you add an acid along with your meals, your chances of cutting extra body fat increase by 40%. How? See, whenever we eat food, our body converts it into glucose. Simplistically putting, the more the glucose in the blood, the more body fat will be stored. Now, if we reduce this glucose spike, body fat will automatically come down. An acid does that effectively. Studies have shown that 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar diluted with a tall glass of water, if consumed before a meal, reduces the glucose spike by almost 34%. In an interesting study, 2 groups were given the same pasta to eat. One group consumed vinegar and then ate the pasta, while the other group directly ate it. The results were clear. People who consumed vinegar had a much lower glucose spike, whereas the other group's glucose spike reached the red zone. The same experiment was done with other foods like bread and chips, and in each case, the results were strikingly similar. However, it's neither practical nor advisable to drink vinegar before each meal. Studies show that even if you drink a glass of vinegar water just once a day, let's say before breakfast, the acetic acid in the vinegar will slow down the absorption of the carbohydrates. This works for other acids like citric acid and lactic acid as well, which is why if you consume a glass of lemon water before a meal or even squeeze juice from a lemon on your meal, the citric acid in the lemon will not only reduce the glycemic load of the meal by almost 40%, but the same meal will keep your stomach full for longer. This was explicitly mentioned in the conclusion of the study. Similarly, lactic acid from curd or buttermilk is a good addition if you want to lose body fat faster. A study in Japan showed that homemade pickles along with a meal also have a similar effect. So make use of an acid and burn that fat 40% faster. For example, when you know that you have to go to a wedding tonight or a late-night dinner before leaving home, you can have apple cider vinegar diluted in a tall glass of water. Following just this simple hack, you will put on less body fat from that same meal outside. At 4 is get the order right. You might be surprised to know that by just changing the order in which you eat your food, you can significantly affect whether you will put on weight or lose body fat. In 2015, a study was conducted on diabetic patients to check if the order in which they ate the same meal had any effect on their blood sugar levels. The results were surprising. One group was given bread first, then chicken, and finally salad last. The other group was given salad first, then chicken, and finally bread. There was a huge difference in the glucose spike, almost by 75%, even though the 2 meals were exactly the same. The only difference was the order they were eaten. The red line is for the one who ate salad last, while the blue line is for the ones who ate salad first. In another study, one group ate rice first, then tofu, and then broccoli. Another group ate broccoli first, then tofu and rice. Compare the glucose spikes. It's amazing how, by just changing the order of the same meal, you can increase the chances of losing fat by more than 50%. Scientists have found that when we start our meal with a plate full of vegetables, the fiber in veggies coats your intestines, creating a sort of protective mesh, a kind of shield on the walls of the intestines. That shield slows down the speed at which the rest of the meal will be absorbed into your bloodstream, and you will get constant energy for a longer period of time. This keeps you full for longer and prevents unhealthy food cravings. So a simple rule: if you want to melt that fat faster, eat whatever you are eating, but start your meal with salad. A plate of carrots, cucumber, or whatever you feel like having. First complete that salad, and then start eating roti, sabzi, rice, dal, or whatever it is. Just a simple thing. And the speed at which your body reduces fat will increase by 75%. Talking about food order, studies clearly pointed out that the best time to eat a dessert is after a full meal and not before. This keeps sugar levels stabilized. No wonder. This is our traditional way as well. 3 is move after eating. In 2016, a study was done on diabetic patients. One group of patients was suggested to walk for 30 minutes anytime during the day. The other group was asked to walk lightly for just 10 minutes, but after the meals. The study concluded that a 10-minute light walk after a meal is superior to a 30-minute walk at any other time. That's because when we eat, our body converts food into glucose. And if at that time we move our muscles, that glucose will be readily used by the cells. Now, you need not do any rigorous exercise. In fact, rigorous exercise just after a meal is rather bad for you. Just do simple things. Walk around, do the dishes, or clean your room. Compare the glucose spikes when in one case a rice bowl was eaten, and in the other case after eating a rice bowl, a 10-minute walk was done. It's as simple as that. Interestingly, modern studies say that if one activates calf muscles after eating, metabolism increases and blood sugar is utilized faster. Ayurveda said thousands of years ago that one should sit in Vajrasana for 10 minutes just after eating a meal. Of course, it's not always practical to sit in Vajrasana everywhere. Basically, move your body lightly for just 10 minutes within 1 hour of eating a meal, and you will be surprised with the results. At 2 is don't eat naked carbs. Look at this graph showing how your body reacts when you eat carbs versus when you eat protein and fats. The sugar spike is lowest in fats and highest in carbs. Remember, the more the glucose spike, the more fat your body will store. This is the reason when we cut down our carbohydrate intake, we automatically begin to lose weight. A recent study confirms this. Want to lose weight? Limit carbs and add more nutrients to your diet. But what are carbs? All grains like wheat, rice, oats, millets are carbohydrates. All fruits, desserts, and other sugary foods are also carbohydrates. So does that mean we should stop eating these? Not at all. Rather, just avoid eating naked carbs. What I mean by that is don't eat carbs alone. Carbohydrates are made up of glucose molecules. Studies show that when we eat something which is mostly carbs, the glucose spike is much higher as compared to when it is combined with other macronutrients like protein, fats, and fiber. And we know that the bigger the glucose spike, the more fat your body will store. This makes sense why it is always recommended to eat whole grains over refined grains like maida. Maida is nothing but wheat that was stripped off its fiber. Now it is mostly carbs. On the other hand, whole wheat has carbs but with fiber intact. Compare the sugar spikes here. In the first case, people eat a whole apple. In the second case, people drink apple juice. This is the difference fiber makes. So a simple hack to speed up your fat loss is to add bran into your ATA, which you use to make roti. Let's take another example. Suppose you feel hungry and you choose to eat biscuits. Biscuits, being made of grains and sugar, are a prime source of carbohydrates. One option is to eat biscuits alone. The second option is to have some cashews along with biscuits. In the second case, your carbs will get covered up with healthy fats and protein from the cashews, reducing the glucose spike. Studies have proven that if we combine protein or fats along with a carb-rich meal, the chances of putting on body fat reduce by a huge 80%. In a study, one group of people was given only bread to eat while the other group was given bread plus peanut butter applied on it. Even though calories were more in the second group, they still lost more weight than the first group. Ayurveda says, add a teaspoon of ghee over your curry and it will help you cut extra body fat. Last but certainly not least, one is don't compromise on your sleep. This one is the easiest and most satisfying. We all know that sleep is important, but you will be amazed by how major an impact it has on fat loss. When you compromise on your sleep, two things happen. First, there is a hormonal change. In 2008, a major study concluded that when we deprive ourselves of sleep, the leptin hormone decreases and ghrelin hunger increases. Note that leptin is the satiety hormone which, when produced, signals the brain that you are satisfied with the food and you are no longer hungry. Ghrelin, on the other hand, does the opposite. Ghrelin is a hunger hormone that makes you feel hungry when produced. The study said that when people compromise on their sleep quality, the satiety hormone decreased by 18%, while the hunger hormone increased by 28%. Now, this is serious as it may cause the body to overeat and gain weight. The other problem that happens when we do not sleep properly is that it makes us feel sluggish the next day. So the body automatically craves junk food to get that energy. And since the brain is not rested well, its logical abilities drop down, and we get more attracted to junk food. Researchers say that if we do not sleep well, we are 50% more likely to reach out for junk food than when we are well rested. So, not compromising on sleep is one easy and very effective way to lose fat fast. All right, so these were the 5 proven ways to lose fat without hitting the gym or taking out special time for diet planning. Add an acid, get the food order right, move after eating, don't eat, and there you have it. Prime Healthy family. 5 proven ways to melt that belly fat without the need for complex diet plans or intense workouts. Remember, small and consistent changes in your daily habits can lead to significant results over time. By incorporating these simple yet effective strategies, you're not just working towards a slimmer waistline, but also a healthier, more vibrant you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you're new to Prime Healthy, make sure to subscribe and click the bell icon so you never miss out on our latest tips and tricks for a healthier lifestyle. Thank you for watching and being a part of our community. Stay healthy, stay happy, and keep striving for the best version of yourself. Until next time, take care and keep shining.